Hala. I'm having a bit of a yoga practice, and then mine's filtering through images and, you know, deeper depths of solution orientation. And something popped into my mind about just even remnant feelings from childhood and adolescence and times throughout my life of like some sort of energetic shame around poverty. And obviously, like, even the way we would treat homeless people, or I say collectively as a Western person. Um, Personally, I never aligned with that and often extended myself. Anyway, so then I'm thinking about like, what is that? Like this sort of shamefulness around poverty. And then I'm like, well, it's connected to something. And then I'm like, shame and guilt to me often go together. And I'm like, there's a guilty conscience around poverty as far as like a divisive construct because, oh God, there's like an unraveling happening around just the intrinsic economic enslavement system and the like compromises oftentimes one must make, I think, to climb a ladder or to become powerful. And it's attached to wealth in as far as like materiality goes and like the compromise of like attaining wealth. But then if you think of historically speaking, it's like total warmongering enslavement, like just wiping people out, killing people, to own it, to own the land. And then like we're all indentured to a certain degree. And the solution, I would dare say, is still something very deep within self around claiming the ownership of your own heart, claiming the autonomy, sovereignty of your own spirit in this body, on this planet, one with all, that you own the right to be here. And thus, like the right for, again, clean water. It kind of goes around in circles. It's the same thing of like, we're born here, we belong here, we have a right to life, which includes the safety of water, food, clean air, shelter, right? And so the extremity with which I think we're experiencing this outpour is also a polarity reflection of the outcry for peace, justice, greater good for all. I mean, balance, fairness, just enough of the corruption. Now, see, part of like, I guess the enslavement program is our addiction to materiality. Hence part of my own journey of like finding this balance of how to enjoy the reality that we all live in, but not be compromising one's integrity. That's why I propagate buying thrift and have done for like most of my adult life, buying secondhand. Not watching TV. Like I haven't watched TV. I mean, God, the media and the phones and everything, I watch plenty of YouTube and plenty of media as such, and it's still questionable sources of information. And yet, this great shift and how to hold space for it all in the truest sense of forgiveness and compassion, but also stand down the corruption, stand down that deep wound of division, that somehow justifies violence or justifies God, I don't like, yeah, oppression, justifies like a superiority, justifies one over other, which is superiority, justifies action based in past wounding. Well, because that's like eye for an eye, old school paradigm vibe. I was thinking about, I guess, coming back even to like my own journey of like how that's another thing we can do. Okay, we can boycott the brands and use our money wisely and or actionably, but we can also process our emotions. Forgive ourselves for our own ignorance, forgive ourselves for not knowing better, forgive ourselves for all the things we bought and all the things we did that actually fed fed the beast, fed the... And another thing worth researching, I would say, would be like the military of defense, or like the military war complex and its involvement in corporate greed and or corporate monopoly, and the pharmaceutical, and like everything's all interconnected with regards to like our own mental enslavement, thus our physical enslavement, and a perpetuation of war cycles that are no longer gonna be the way forward, as in open our hearts to a lot more freedom and peace. Who knows? I just keep praying that the earth will teach us how to reintegrate, how to reconnect, and how to live in greater harmony with ourselves, the planet, and one another. Holla Shazam, there's some 2 cents. Holla. I love you. Peace. That's one and only time you're going to see me with these red bad boys. Already after one day of having them, I'm like, I want to go back to plain. But there you go. Winter festivity. Merry Christmas.